Hello, my sweet Christina. So I'm sending you a video message instead because I figured, it's more impactful. It's more real. You get to see my face, you get to see my body language and hear the tone of voice. I'm really sorry there's a dishwasher in the background, so it's going to be a little bit noisy and bangy, but that's what's going on there. But I wanted to send you a video message for your message. First off, I want you to know how much I appreciate you digging deep into this because this is the hard work. This is the hard work. I mean, intentionally choosing to eat well and the showing up to the gym certain number of days a week and like getting sleep and sunshine, like those are effort based and they are fucking work. But this is the work that is game changing. That is going to be life changing when you're moving through different aspects of your life and you're going, remember I had this conversation one time or I said this one thing one time and realizing that this is the actual thought process of I should be able to lose this weight. I should be able to. And being able to and beating yourself up because that's not necessarily what's happening. Or, I should be able to do this or I'm not able to do this. And putting yourself in this box of limit, which is not true. That limit actually doesn't exist of I should be able to do this. But I can't do this. That's not true. You can. There's just certain things that are getting in the way. And I'm saying that in not you are getting in the way. That's never what I'm saying. But there's certain other aspects. Have you had your hormones looked at? That's something I'm curious about in general, because that would be something that would be impacting you. I will forever say, and it's not something that is really ultimately in your control unless you make a big shift, is sleep is going to be a massive factor. Recovery is going to be a massive factor and stress, right? So, but also the kindness to yourself. When you are expecting yourself to be a certain weight or be like somebody else, it's really hard to appreciate yourself for where you're at and be kind to yourself and love yourself and not just like, well, they did it, so why can't I? Like, I don't understand what the problem is. And I don't blame you because it is a lot easier. It is so much easier in the moment. The instant satisfaction. It's so much easier to, go for the gastric bypass. It's so much easier to get the sleeve or to get the clips put on and make it so that you can't eat as much. It is easier. But is it real? Is it sustainable? And is it going to lead to complications down the road? Like you said about your friend going, she's lost all this weight and 2 years later she's having all these complications. But because you're in the position where you're like, I just want to lose the weight, and you see that she's had those results, your question is, does she think that does she still believe that it was worth it, even with all the complications? Because maybe it is worth the complication. Maybe it is worth the pain or the struggle or the potential risk of infection or, the potential of having to go under the knife again and get more surgeries done unnecessarily because of complication. Because it is a foreign substance in your body. And so it makes complete sense where you're at. It's like anybody that is at the base of their goal and they see somebody else that already has accomplished their goal. I'll use myself as an example. I've had clients in the past where they want to lose a certain amount of weight or they want to look a certain way. Or I've had people say, I want to look like you. And then they see what I eat every day. And they go, but I don't think that's worth it. And it's understandable. It's 100% understandable because it is a lifetime of dedication. It's a lifetime of consistency and commitment. And it might not be worth it. But to see the result and go, maybe it's worth it, I want you to ask yourself, are you worth it? Are you worth the consistency? Are you worth the continual effort because it's been 3 months? You and I had this conversation, like I said this to you last week, right? Where it's been 3 months, but it's only been 3 months. A quarter of a year. That's it. A third of a pregnancy. That's it. And you're still making gains. You're seeing the inches change. And so what I'm wondering for you is, do we need to remove the scale? Do we need to remove the weighable aspects and only do monthly measurements for you? Because if the scale is fucking with your head this much, is it actually serving you? Like, is that part of this process serving you? Or is it just downplaying all the work that you're putting in? Because you are putting in the work and you are getting the success and you are getting the results, just maybe not in the way that your brain is attached to. So what if we remove the thing that your brain's attached to so that you can focus on the things that are actually happening? Like improved sleep quality, improved energy, improved belief and confidence in yourself of even, and not just eating well when people are around. But eating well when you're on your own for weeks at a time, which is something you have struggled with your entire marriage. That's a fucking win, Christina. That's a huge win of building up trust in yourself and going, I deserve to eat well even when it's just me. I don't deserve to just eat well because I'm feeding them. I also deserve to feel this good. And so that's something to think about is, do you want us to remove the weight? Do we want to remove the weigh in and just track your body stats of measurement? Because we can do that. And we can do that every 2 weeks instead of every week. Like, don't even answer that question in your form. Like, don't even look at it because that's not a value for where you're at right now. I think that would be probably your best bet, personally and professionally, but you tell me what you think about that. Just knowing where your headspace is at, right? And what I want for you to try to do for you is practice saying thank you in general, not just when it comes to people commenting on your body. And you can even go back to that coworker or friend and go, you said this the other day to me, and I just instantly bounced it back and said, and this is something that I've had to work on a lot myself too. So I understand this, where you're going, I've just pushed it back on like, no, I'm just eating clean, but I'm not actually losing the weight because I'm not seeing the scale change, but my body is changing. And I just want to say thank you for commenting and passing on this information and sharing what you see with me, because sometimes I don't see myself. So thank you so much for sharing that. And you can go back and say that now. It doesn't need to be just in the moment where you're like, I fucked that up. Because you didn't fuck it up, first off. Second, maybe that's what you need to do, is just go back and be like, I didn't say thank you before. I want to go back and say thank you for what you said to me because it did have an impact. Right? Maybe it's something you need to start working on. And I've heard this many times along the way. I've heard this my whole life. I've done this my whole life. It's only been the last probably 2 or 3 years that I've really improved in it, in people commenting on my strength or whatever, and me going, hey, thanks so much. I work really hard for it. That's it. Or I posted about my skin the other week and somebody said, you know what? I wanted to comment, but I didn't know what to say. Like, but you are glowing. Your skin is looking great. Thank you so much. This is the line that I'm using, and I feel really good about it for the first time in my life. Like, you deserve to say thank you. You deserve to actually absorb that compliment and let it fuel you to keep going. What would you say to Serena if somebody commented on something that she was really good at, commenting on her art or how funny she is or how sweet of a human she is, whatever it might be? Her outgoingness, her ability to communicate with people. And somebody said, you are just so friendly and I just love getting to spend time with you. And she went, yeah, well, that's how I was raised. And she didn't take any of the credit for the fact that she puts herself out there. She chooses to be funny. She chooses to share jokes and talk to people and connect with people. What would you say to her? You say thank you, Serena, right? You would tell her, you would be teaching her, and you are teaching her to say thank you when someone gives her a compliment. You deserve that too. 100% you deserve that. I remember listening to a Rachel Hollis podcast, and she was talking about, like, she was at the gym and she watched this woman do like 5 pull-ups and just like come down and carry on. And Rachel walked up to her and was like, yo, like, that was awesome. That was so badass and like super cool to see. And she's like, yeah, well, it's not really my goal. Like, it's great, but like, I want to be able to do more. And Rachel was like, no. And like called her out on the spot and was like, no, like, you deserve to celebrate that you do something that literally most people can't even think of doing. Like, it's not even on their radar, which is the same thing for you. Do you know how many people have it on their wish list that maybe they'll take care of themselves one day? That maybe they'll make themselves a priority? That maybe they'll eat clean eventually? Or that they'll prioritize going to the gym? And you are doing those things. So when people are commenting on your results, or you're seeing the results in the little things, and I'm not talking about looking down and seeing your stomach. I'm talking about like when your pants need to be changed. When, like, I mean, like the buttons. I realize I said that and I'm like thinking medical background. You and me both are thinking about like bedding changed. That's not what I mean. I'm talking like your pants need to have the buttons changed, or you need to buy new clothes, or you need to, like, someone gives you a compliment, or you feel strong and powerful in the gym. You can do a fucking 3/4 of a pull-up when, as long as I've known you, Christina, and as long as I've been coaching you, you've done hangs. And you did that. You did it. No one else did it for you. You did it. And you deserve to feel fucking proud of doing the things that most people wish they could do, and think one day. And you're doing it today. You deserve to feel proud of that and feel the credit and feel, exceptional. like exceptional, because you are doing exceptional work, and the work that is the work that nobody else wants to or is willing to do to get what they want. It's going to take time, and you're in it right now. The time is going to pass regardless, and you can take the easier way out, which ends up being harder down the road, aka the surgeries, or you can build a lifestyle that, yeah, you might be approaching 40, but the work that you're doing right now is going to last you forever. It's not going to be in 10 years you might need to have another surgery, or in 5 years, or in 2 years to get the things removed because it's impacting your body in such a negative way, or taking the pills or the teas or whatever. You're doing the work right now that literally when you're 80 you can keep doing. It doesn't need to change. And that's the work that's really powerful. And so while it's a longer process to get the results that maybe you're looking for, you're still getting the results, and there just might be tweaks we need to make along the way. Right now, we're getting your protein up. And like I said before, doing 3 days of tracking might be a really good value without the scale. Like, I don't want you to look at a fucking scale. I'm talking about tracking your food to see, are you getting enough calories in? Because that's something that I'm wondering about. First off, I wonder if you got your hormones checked before. Second, if you're actually getting enough calories in. You're getting the protein in, but where's your fats, carbs, and calories, so that I can see that and go, okay, this is the stuff that needs to shift. Now we can be a little bit more mindful of these things, because it's kind of hard to tell right now, right? Like, we can see that you're getting a good chunk of protein in, but are you getting enough of everything and getting like exactly what you need to be getting, or are you still too low and your body is in scarcity? That would be something to consider if you're willing to do it for 3 days. That's it. I don't want you to do it for a lifetime, because that's not lifestyle. But for 3 days to see where you're at and increase or decrease with things that we need to. So something to think about, but I want you to work on the thank yous, and even going back and saying thank yous to things that have been said in the past. Go back, when you see Kim this week, go back and say thank you to her for commenting on your success. Go back and say thank you. Go back in the post that I made about you and all the people that commented, and literally comment thank you so much. Like, that's your homework this week. Say thank you. And it's not an egotistical thank you. It's a genuine thank you so much for the love and support. That's it. Because you deserve that. That's my message to you today, my friend. I hope you're doing well. I'll talk to you soon.